Okay, so continuing our exploration of opaque paints, let's do what I'd like to call a mini Bob Ross. Now, if you've seen Bob Ross's paintings, you know that he does them with oil, with these big old brushes and oil paints, right? We don't need to do that. We can go ahead and just use our good old tempera paints like we do at school here. And the techniques that he uses are just tried and true techniques that painters have been using for years. He just, was able to do it on TV, and people love him. I love him. Everybody loves Bob, right? But they're just techniques. They're just wet and wet techniques. So let's go ahead and explore that. And we'll do bigger, bolder paintings later, but let's start small. Because, one thing that Bob Ross always points out, and really I do love the guy, practice. He started off talking about practice, practice, practice. And so let's practice a little bit and not make a giant painting, just a little one right now. Okay. The other thing is that to our palette, I think we'll go ahead and we'll add some black and we'll add some brown just for ease of use. Why not, right? And just like we did with the little turtles, we're going to start with the white. Just white everywhere, everywhere. This is much the same as old Bob Ross uses his liquid white paint, right? Same kind of idea, same kind of technique, right? So I'm just spreading this around, and scrubbing it in. Nice even coat everywhere, everywhere. And, once again, man, what I'm doing right now, scrubbing with this brush, just working it in, it's a bristle brush. Don't ever do that with these soft Taklon brushes because you'll wreck them. And we want to keep them nice, right? Okay. So anyways, we got that. And just back and forth and back and forth. Here we go. So I've cleaned my brush off, and I'm going to go ahead and make the sky. Now, one of the tricks that Bob does to make his skies a little bit more natural as far as the blue goes, he'll take something like this ultramarine blue, or really, let's be honest, just the Crayola blue, right? And I'll have just the tiniest dot of black. See, I had to wipe a little bit of that off my brush because I don't want much. Not much. Mostly blue. Mostly blue. Just the tiniest dot of black into that blue. And you'll see it makes a really beautiful, very natural sort of sky color. I'm going to start at the top and I'm going to work my way down. Maybe more of the straight blue right here. I might have gotten a little bit too much black into it, but not much. That's nice. It really makes a much more natural sort of color for the sky than if we just used the straight up blues. Those would be kind of fakey looking. Now the brush that I'm using happens to be brand new, so I'm losing a lot of bristles. Not a big deal, because once I get this guy all done, I'll just come back, just using the paintbrush itself. I can just lift those right out. You see how I got that? Take it right out. Okay, and all the way down. I'd go pretty much all the way down. Why not? It's not going to hurt anything at all. Go all the way down like that. Okay, so with this little mini Bob Ross, we're going to practice as many little Bob Ross techniques as possible, without getting ridiculous. Okay, so the first one here, I've got that sky, and you notice how I started dark at the top, and I just worked that paint, and it worked into the white. Cool, right? So now I can just go back, starting from the bottom here, work my way up. Never go back, right? So once I go up, 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 I don't want to go back down because that's just going to take and draw my paint down into here. It's very good to know. Also, now that I've got all that paint on here, don't go back down here because you see it's dark. Okay. So another thing that Bob likes to do is those puffy little clouds. So why not? Let's make some puffy little clouds. I'm going to wash my brush off, dry it off thoroughly. Now he goes and he beats it. Hear that? I'm beating it on the edge of the desk there. Just beats the dickens out of it, as he'd like to say. You could do that. I guess you might get a little bit of water splashed on the person next to you. I'm not sure if they'll like that or not. But in any case, I'll go ahead and I can just take my white. I could just take the white straight, or sometimes he'll take just that, oh man, just the slightest bit of red. And I mean, oh, that was almost nothing. And he'll get little pink clouds. How happy is that? Little pink clouds. But you see how I'm taking the corner of my brush here, loading it up with that paint right there. Get my little motor going. Here, let's pull this down where you can see it. And spinning, spinning, spinning my little circles and getting loft. Go up with it. That's one of the biggest things that the students do wrong is they don't make their clouds go up. And then we're just making that little swirls, and he just blends it in. And if you were to actually look at clouds, this is a little bit unnatural because generally speaking, when you look at clouds, it'd be gray down here, right? But it looks great in the painting, so you know what? Why mess with it? And with this, you can go ahead and you can put layers. So you see I've gotten a little bit more white on my brush there, and we'll just go up and make another little layer of cloud right there. And I'm just, the little bristles, I'm just letting them break off, right? Just like that. Maybe another one over here. Why not? Just a little baby cloud. There we go. Right? Okay. Clean that up a little bit. And so then what I can do is I can blend it a little bit, right? Now, this is not thick like the oil paints. So maybe just a little tap, tap, tap. Tap, tap, tap. That might be a good way of blending that out a little bit, little bit. Woo. And this is something, we're practicing it right now. So if you don't get it perfect, that's okay. But as he would say, 2 hairs and some air. Just really light, really light. Maybe just, ooh, you see I'm losing it right there. Maybe even just tapping it. If I lose it, that's okay. Just add a little bit more back into it. Just tap it. And then he'll fluff that cloud a little bit. He'll go like this. Just fluffing it up. And once it gets real soft, soft, soft touch. Gotta have a light touch working with this paint. You're not painting a fence, right? So you can't just get in there and wham, slam it out. Gotta be delicate. Okay, cool, good enough. And so we've got our puffy little cloud there, just like a real Bob Rosser. And once again, this is just a little practice one, so have some fun with it. If it doesn't work out, that's okay. It's no big deal. Heck, while the paint's really wet like this, if I really didn't like it, I don't think I'm going to wreck that one because I kind of like it. But I could just, oh, look at that. Just erase my little cloud. And guess what? I'll just go ahead and make another little puffy little cloud right there. And don't forget the sound effects. Puffy little cloud. All right, cool. No problem, right? Okay. So now that's all cool. The other thing that Bob Ross does, and this is one thing, clean that brush up a little bit, is thinking about the idea of space, right? We haven't talked about that so much. We've talked about line and shape and form and value and texture and color, but we haven't talked about space all that much. And old Bob, he's a master of stacking space. He'll get layer upon layer upon layer of things. So let's go ahead and make some distant hills here. And you know that the thing is that when things are way back there in the distance, they're still very light. They're lighter and they're bluer, right? So we'll go ahead and we're just going to make these hills in the background kind of gray, kind of gray. We're not going to make them a whole lot of color, kind of a blue. See, I just had that black from before and a little bit of that blue. All right, let's see. Let's do a little test. See, that might even be a little bit dark for my taste. So we'll just pat in there a little bit. All right, let's see how this is. And we'll just give it a little bit, right down about here. Always make it darker. It's harder to make things lighter sometimes. We'll just run just that little hill. Okay. Now the thing is that things tend to have a light side and a dark side. So we already, with our clouds, made the light coming in here. So we'll just make that our lighter side of things. See, just with that little brush stroke, boom. Man, I made a big old distant mountain with just one stroke, right? Hey, let's do that again. What the heck? That was kind of fun. Here, I'm going to get a little bit lighter color. And maybe I'll stack this one right in front of it. Right? Just bring that down. Right in front of it. A little bit more light. And then right behind it, let's get a little bit of this dark. I'm just using that same old paint that I had before because that's how lazy I am. We'll throw a little bit of brown in it this time. Give it a little bit of color as it gets a little bit closer to us. And once again, I can just go right there. Right there. Oh, that's a little bit. There we go. If we've got a light side and a dark side, ooh, look at that. I can just make hill after hill after hill. And they just get slightly more detailed and slightly darker as they come towards you. A little bit more blue as they go back. And you think, oh, Bob made this up? No. Leonardo da Vinci, if anybody's going to get the credit, but I'm sure somebody did it before him too. Right? Cool. Okay, so good enough, good enough. And maybe, ooh, let's make this a little distant lake back here. Why not? Just having fun. I'm just making it up as I go along. There we go. So we'll just take a little bit of this blue. It's just going to reflect the sky, right? So same old blue, same old gray schmutz back here. And we'll just go ahead and, oops, that's a little dark, isn't it? Get a little bit of white. Oh, that's better. All right. We'll just get it like here. Just same old color of what we've got going on in the sky. All right. We can even take a little bit of this. Ooh, instant reflection. By thinking about those colors. Matching the colors that I have up here, down here. Pulling it on down. Ooh, instant reflection. I'm not making this really super detailed bit of water here, you know. And here, look, this little smudge of white. Leave it, right? That's what's going to give you the magic. You know, the way to get a magic in a Bob Ross painting is just get out of your own way. That's the main thing, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and let's make a little hill right here. And on that hill, we'll put a happy little tree and we'll call it a painting. Because after all, this is just a little mini Bob Ross, right?